Alright, YouTube, it's me, David Harry, your favourite YouTuber and vlogger. Right, what I'm going to do in this video is basically just give like my thoughts on something which I think now is about the right time for us to start thinking about how good our smartphones are becoming that like one and only tool that you would need for both video and photography. And I don't mean like, you know, if you're Steven Spielberg. What I mean is like, you know, just for us like day-to-day users of these things, for basically, you know, just like day-to-day snaps and stuff, or even maybe for stuff that's just beyond just day-to-day, like, you know, photography and videography and stuff like that. Anyways, let me just explain what I've got here. So this is a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I've got it in got it inside of a Ulanzi grip, and then that Ulanzi grip is placed on top of a pistol grip. I'm also using a Nilkin case for the phone, which then gives me protection for the lenses. It's got a door system on the back which protects the lenses, and then what I've also got after that are a couple of dead cats on the side of the case, which hopefully are not getting into the field of view for any of the lenses. And then as far as the audio is concerned for this particular video, it is all the internal mics on the actual phone. So what I do here, when I get into post-production, I basically just pick either the left or the right hand channel and center it in post, and then add some limiting to it to bring its level up and stuff. But basically all internal. Now obviously I've got the dead cats on here as well, so basically there should be absolutely no issues with any breezes, although I do have to say there isn't any kind of strong breezes at the moment either anyways, so it should be good, full stop basically. But what I will do, I'll do a thing about putting together like, you know, the dead cat system on the phone here, and I'll have to do that though and go to somewhere where it's definitely going to be windy, so we can kind of hear and see, well, hear, not see, you can't see the wind really, can you? Hear the differences with and without the dead cat when it gets like, you know, into a windy environment and stuff like that. Now as far as the video settings or the record settings are concerned, what it is, I'm going to be in 30 frames per second. Now the only thing is here is I still don't know as to whether or not this phone is doing 30 frames or 29.97, or if indeed it's actually doing like a VFR thing. Now what it is, most phones do VFR, which is like variable frame rate, which isn't the best way of doing stuff. I don't know whether I'll be testing that in this video, but I'll get the results of that when I do the, you know, the editing and stuff like that. But again, if there's kind of any weirdness to do with stuff like that, that's another video that I can do just to explain to people, you know, what these things are and how they actually affect things, especially to do with editing and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm going to be in 30 frames per second. I'm on the front camera at the moment, and this is going to be shooting in UHD 4K. I'm then going to flip over onto the rear camera and mix a bit of that footage in, and that will have been recorded probably 8K. I'll let you know when I switch over to the rear camera. The only problem is the rear camera I think is awesome, but obviously the front camera's got a wider field of view, which is better for the vlogging thing, which is what I'm doing right now, obviously. Actually, just a quick test whilst I'm standing here. So this is now the rear camera, and this is 8K 30 FPS. Now I'm on the wide lens here, and the wide lens is the main lens anyway. There's obviously two other kind of focal lengths here, and you can then go punching in as well and get like different fields of views and like different zoom ratios and stuff depending upon what lens you're using. Now I'm not going to do that stuff right now. I'm just going to go for the basic camera here, which is the main wide camera, because that would be the one that I would use in these scenarios anyway. However, depending upon, like, you know, what the results of this video are like, and maybe if people are interested, then yeah, I'll go do some other videos very specifically with maybe just testing the rear lenses and the different fields of views and stuff, and the different zoom ratios and all that type of stuff. But nonetheless, this is the rear camera. Now I've just assumed automatically actually that the front facing camera is going to be the one with the better field of view. Not really tested this before, have I? Anyway, this will give me an idea what the field of view is like. Now give me 1 second, I'm just going to switch off off the stabilizer now. Hold on. Okay, so same camera, 8K 30 FPS, but what I've now done is to switch off the stabilizer. So let's see what we get out of this. In fact, what I'm going to do a little bit further into this test, I'll put it on the tripod, and then that'll give me a little bit of an easier option then to kind of like frame things and stuff. Of course, with me being on the rear lenses here, I don't know where I am in the shot. I'm just kind of guessing here, obviously. Now, the thing with this is dead easy to sort out. All you've got to do with any phone where you're on the rear lenses is to just take some test shots and just remember where you were in the shots, and then after like a few shots or so, you're definitely going to get it right as you're moving around and stuff. So there is absolutely no problems not using a a screen to position yourself and frame with and stuff with these things. With a bit of practice, you can get your framing done really well with anything. I mean, I use GoPros and don't use front screens, so and for the best part, I'm normally getting that right as far as the framing is concerned. Anyways, this was with the stabilizer switched off on the rear 8K lens camera video blah blah thing. Okay, so rear camera is still 8K 30 FPS, but I've switched the stabilizer back on and I'll do a little bit of walking with it. Like I say, maybe these are things that I should already have known. However, that's what these videos are for, as in, what are the fields of view going to be like between the main rear camera and then the front facing camera? Because I've actually tested some of this in the past, and I was absolutely blown away by this camera, the rear one on the back. I did some test shots on top of a tripod and was just filming some stuff willy-nilly one day for a laugh. I didn't actually put these online, but when I got back in, I was absolutely blown away by it. And that kind of leads me back to, how far away seriously are we from just using a smartphone for near enough everything to do with video and photography? Now, the vlogging snob inside me is obviously sitting there going, come on Dave, at the very least you'd want to use a GoPro for this type of stuff. And up till now, and maybe for the last say 6 years, 7 years, however long it is that I've been using the GoPros for, yeah, I would absolutely say that my first instinct is to jump straight to a GoPro for stuff like this. However, and this has got nothing to do with the fact that GoPros can be a real letdown when they screw up and stuff, but over the years, the phones have just gone on like leaps and bounds. And I would absolutely say that this particular camera on the back of this phone is a better camera or a better sensor than what's on any of the GoPros right up to the 11. So as far as pure picture technical quality ability is concerned, based on the actual sensors, the sensors on the phones, I think, are now at the point where you can definitely put them up against at least all the action cams as far as pure picture quality is concerned, and also the lower end of proper video cameras. And indeed, if you kind of choose your shot properly, or your frame and your exposure, your composition and all that type of stuff, you could easily fool people into thinking that they're watching videos of something that is a lot more expensive than a smartphone. Actually, what I'm going to do now is do some testing on the tripod, and the main reason why is because it has gotten really cloudy and it kind of feels like it's going to start thundering and lightning soon and pour down. We've had some of this recently. Oh, that was definitely thunder. Oh dear. Right, I don't know if that picked it up, but what I'm going to have to do is just flash through some stuff here before it starts raining. However, there is another thing here, especially with a phone like this one. These are waterproof to a certain degree, and that's when you dunk your phone in water. So the thing is, when it starts raining, things like this phone do not suffer from some of the issues that a lot of video cameras would do, because most video cameras are just not waterproof or water resistant to any great degree, where if you got caught out in torrential rain, you're not going to damage your camera. With a phone like this, I'm fairly sure you could be out all night in torrential rain and you'd be fine with the phone, because it is waterproof to a certain depth anyway. So I think rain ain't gonna bother it. Not that I want to get caught out in the rain anyway. So I'm basically full arm's length away there from the sensor. The stabilizer is switched off. Now I've switched off the stabilizer just so obviously I can get that wider field of view, which essentially means that I can get a little closer to the camera, obviously in this instance, which then means I'm closer to the microphones. This right now, oh, it's definitely rumbling in the background. What I'm doing right now is basically to assist with the microphones so I can get closer to it or to them. Now the thing is, obviously if I was using other microphones like a radio mic or something or whatever, or a shotgun on top and things like that, then yeah, you've got a bit more flexibility again with the audio. But the point of what I'm doing right now, because I think I will do a whole bunch more videos actually thinking about it, I should do like pick on one thing, not do like a load of stuff like I'm going to do with this video, like loads of different bits of testing, work out a whole bunch of individual things to do, get out and do each one, and then let other people be the judge of what the results are. But the thing is, right now, like I said, what I'm doing is basically assisting the microphones as best as possible here as well, by using the widest field of view that I can to get closer to the camera, or the phone itself. Anyway, let me just walk a little bit out of, out of the frame, as it were. Now I will obviously be dropping off as far as the mics are concerned, although the mics are actually really good on this phone. Like I say, I will have dropped this down to a single microphone in post, but you can record stereo with them and all kinds of stuff. They're great, and I find that the actual quality of them is really good. And I don't mean just like really good for a phone. I just mean full stop, they're really good. I mean, let's put it this way, these beat the crap out of a GoPro. There's like no GoPro out there that sounds as good as this for its built-in microphone. And also, as far as like any of the other cameras that have got no proper video cameras, none of them sound as good as this for the inbuilt mics either. Anyway, let me just think of something else to do here. I'm just getting a bit worried because I am going to get drenched. I can feel this coming on. Right, I'm definitely going to have to stop this video now, I think, because it is now starting to like really pick up. What it is, this is definitely a thunderstorm rolling in. Let me just turn the camera around. Look at that sky up there. I've already seen flashes going on in those clouds, and I've obviously heard all the rumbling going on, but look at that. That just looks really horrible, doesn't it? Right, so I'm definitely gonna have to cut this one short now. However, if I get caught out before I get home, I might do my wind test with these wind jammer things on this setup here. Anyways, like I say, what I'm gonna do off the back of this, I'll kind of like look at doing some more stuff as well now, I think, with this phone. Very specific testing and stuff like that, because I do believe we are like probably this close. That's getting really close. We're about this close to where, like, these phones are definitely going to be able to be used as a daily driver for both photography and videography. And I'm also this close to getting drenched. I'm getting off. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.